Ladies and gentlemen, first I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak here at the opening of the important Economist Government Roundtable. It's an important forum of people that has a lot of influence. Unfortunately, it is happening during a dark time for Israel. On October 7th, on the day of the ending of Israeli high holidays, the Hamas terror army launched an unprovoked all-out war against Israel with a mass assault against our southern communities. The terrorists had a clear order to massacre and capture Israelis, while the attack was carried out under the cover of thousands of rockets launched against our cities. We learned about the attack from the sound of sirens, the noises of rockets, and the WhatsApp groups of friends living near the Gaza border, calling for help. We learn about it from the Arab social media that started to post horrific footage disseminated by Hamas. It was a massacre broadcast live by proud terrorists, while our people screamed for help. 30 of our communities were infiltrated. Innocent Israelis were butchered in atrocities that defy even the sickest imagination. Infants were decapitated. Pregnant mothers were disemboweled. Young children and their parents were burned alive. People were executed in cold blood in front of their families. Youth at the prime of their life were gunned down or blown to pieces in a music festival. Women were raped and utterly humiliated. Friends of ours were there. Friends of ours were kidnapped. A total of 1,400 people, and we're still counting, Israelis have lost their lives. More than 5,000 have been injured, many in critical condition. 222 so far, as we were able to verify, Israelis, among them foreign citizens, including babies, women, and elderly, were taken hostage by Hamas terrorists, tortured and led to Gaza, leaving their family members in despair. Their fate is unknown. Taking those hostages is a war crime. We call on the international community to demand their immediate and unconditional release. This day was also full of bravery of people fighting for their lives and those of their friends and loved ones. In 3 days of fighting, 1,500 terrorists were killed by the IDF, and the entire area taken by them, and the entire area that was taken by the terrorists within Israel was cleared. They left behind military-grade weapons and booby traps of bodies and children backpacks. October 7th will be marked as a day of darkness, etched into our history, akin to the somber memory of 9/11. Israel is now divided between a time before October 7 and after. We are now focused on winning the war forced upon us. One thing is certain. We all stand united in facing the threat, and there is no war more just than this. The Hamas revealed its true nature as a genocidal, murderous, criminal organization with a clear goal of the annihilation of the State of Israel. It gave us a dark glimpse into the future of genocide it envisioned for Israel and for its people. Hamas is the ISIS of Gaza. Hamas is ISIS. Hamas is part of a radical extremist axis led by Iran that includes terror proxies like the Hezbollah in Lebanon, militias in Syria and Iraq, and the Houthis in Yemen. Since the Hamas attack, the Hezbollah has been launching anti-tank missiles and rocket attacks on Israel and try to support infiltration of terror cells into our northern border. The Hezbollah is an experienced army of terror. It has a vast arsenal of weaponry, including precise missiles with heavy loads that most European armies do not possess. The Houthis launched 16 drones and cruise missiles against Israel, which were intercepted by US forces. We sent a clear warning to Iran and its proxies to stay out of the war. We will defend ourselves, and we are prepared to deal with any threat on any front. Israel is determined to dismantle the terrorist infrastructure and terror army built by Hamas ISIS in Gaza. We cannot allow a genocidal army of terror be on our borders. Its destruction will be actually give up hope for a better Middle East, better for Israel and better for our neighbors. Prior to the Hamas massacre, we were in the process of developing different visions for a new Middle East where parties are capable of solving conflict through peace, as evidenced by the Abraham Accords. In order to achieve that and continue on this path, we will have to defeat Hamas completely. There is much talk about the day after our military operation. But in order to get to the third floor, we first have to get to the foundation. The future will not include Hamas. Hamas is not a representative of the Palestinians. In the future, we will have to find a way to solve our conflict with our Palestinian neighbors. We will do it around the negotiating table. Our aim and actions are not rooted in vengeance. The truth is that without completely defeating the Hamas, we are only setting the stage for the next attack and for more terror. Don't be mistaken. Israel will do what it needs to do to uproot Hamas wherever and whenever necessary. Our battle against Hamas will not be short and will be carried out according to the pace dictated by us. We are not engaged in a battle against the Palestinian people, but against Hamas. It has brought nothing but pain, suffering, calamity, impoverishment of the people of Gaza. They are victims of the Hamas terror reign that occupied Gaza in a bloody coup against the Palestinian Authority in 2007. Under Gaza, there is an underground city with hundreds of kilometers of tunnels, not being used to protect civilians, but as a position for the terrorist activities of Hamas. We will have to dismantle this threat. We are acting to protect civilians in accordance with the international laws of war. We have called on the people of Gaza to move through safe passages, to safe areas in the north part of the Gaza Strip. So far, more than 700,000 have left northern Gaza, and we still call on the people to leave. We also allow the entry of humanitarian aid, food, water, and medical supplies. All this while Hamas is continuing to use Palestinian civilians as human shields. While the war on terror is continuing, it is important for the media to act professionally and responsibly, cross-checking facts, not believing the statements issued by Hamas, which is a cynical ISIS-like terror organization. The media have a role to play in not inflaming emotions The aim of Hamas, ISIS, and Hezbollah is to fan the flames of anti-Semitism worldwide, threatening the fabric of free societies as seen by the recent terror attacks in other capitals in Europe. We appreciate the support of the world, and in particular the US and European leaders. US President Joe Biden, decision to send battle groups to the region send a strong message to Iran and its allied proxies to stay out of the war, while sending message to US allies in the region of its commitment to their security. I want to thank Greece for its support for Israel's unreserved right to self-defense, its condemnation of Hamas, and its calls for the unconditional release of hostages. I want to especially thank Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis, who visited Israel yesterday and met with the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in a demonstration of solidarity which emphasized our strategic friendship. Mr. Mitsotakis also met with relatives of hostages, and I also want to thank members of the Greek public who expressed their solidarity to us. The war against Hamas will continue in the same manner and with the same determination with which the Islamic State was defeated. All leaders of Hamas and its terrorists should be held accountable. And we hope that after Hamas is defeated, the architecture of peace and cooperation will continue to grow. The war is not just a battle of Israel. It is a battle between those forces who believe in peace, stability, prosperity, and the well-being of people, and the forces of darkness, terrorism, and extremism led by the Iranian Ayatollah regime, whose vision is a nightmare for the region and beyond. In this battle, the democracy of Israel will prevail. Thank you.